So how you doing? How you doing? We're going through like very difficult times, so I hope you're okay, man.
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine too. I'm doing fine. So let's talk about the new movie You Should Have Left that is being released this Friday on Beyond Demand. It's like a thriller horror movie about a family confronted by difficult situations while they're like taking a vacation in Wales. But it's also your second movie with like David Kerr. You worked with him like 20 years ago, kind of 21 years ago or something in Stir of Echoes. Why did you decide to work with him again right now?
Well, I decided that I wanted to work with him as soon as we finished Stir of Echoes. It's just that it took 20 years for me to talk him into it. He did a great job with it.
It was his fault.
Yeah, yeah, he did a great job with that, and I remained friends with him, which is something that doesn't happen all that often in our business. And we would
Yeah.
get together, and there were a few different things that we were kind of knocking around over the course of the 20 years. But when we spoke about the idea of a horror movie, a thriller that surrounded the theme of marriage or a specific marriage, I just saw that his wheels were really starting to turn, and that he was really excited about this idea. And then it happened very quickly. He came up with great ideas. He came up with a great outline. He wrote a great script, and we took it to Jason Blum, and our heads were spinning. And we turned around, and we were in Wales making a movie.
So it's interesting because these two movies, I mean, Stir of Echoes and the new one, are not like related in terms of storylines, of characters, or anything, but there's some common elements, right? I mean, there's still like a family dealing with something scary. There's a little kid, but of course, the circumstances are different. And now you're having this like little girl. Every Essex is the actress. She's amazing in this movie. I mean, I don't know how old she is, but she's so expressive, so brave. How was working with her? I suppose you were impressed too.
Oh, I was very, very impressed with her. It was her first film.
Yeah.
She had done a little bit of acting, but not very much. And she's like a regular little girl, kind of bouncing off the walls, and but really excited to be there, and jumping around. And then all of a sudden we got to a scene, and she's just so natural. And I credit her, but I also credit David Kep. He did a great job with the little boy who was in Stir of Echoes, who also was pretty remarkable.
Mhm.
And he just works really well with kids. And yeah, it was really, really important that she be good. And if you notice, there's even scenes where a lot of times with a child, you'll have to do a bunch of coverage so that you have multiple takes, and you can cut back and forth. There's some scenes that are
Yeah.
just a single shot of the two of us talking, and it's really amazing.
Yeah. So how it's been for you? I mean, that thing, because I was reading that for this role, you like, I don't know if you're a method actor or something like that, but you kind of wanted to stay in the mood of the character. You wanted to stay in the place to feel, no, to feel everything that what you were supposed to feel as a character. But then you work with kids. This kid is just like first time acting. So how's the process? How do
Well,
you do? How do you do
well,
it?
the process for me, and I believe this very strongly when it comes to child actors, and that is that no movie is worth making a kid feel like they're having an unsafe experience or a frightening kind of experience. I don't. I just don't believe in putting a child through that. So I'm very careful to meet the kid, meet the mom, meet the caretaker, and explain
Mhm.
that I'm going to be going through some crazy stuff that they're going to be witnessing. I'm going to be yelling and screaming and grabbing them and carrying them, and there's going to be a lot of things that are going to look like really kind of frightening on the outside, but that what I'm really doing is pretending, and I'm a professional pretender, and so are they. And the two of us are going to have to pretend to do some stuff together. And so I don't really try to stay in character around a child. It seems I don't know, just seems
Too
kind
much.
of, yeah, it's too much. It's irresponsible to me.
You're a professional pretender. That's a good one. So, and in this case, your character Theo, he's dealing with some traumatic events from his past, but also dealing with insecurity, right? Because he's married to like a very young like woman portrayed by Amanda Seyfried, and he doesn't really trust her. So is there here like a message for all these older guys that are just trying to have a relationship with young women? Like, don't do it. This is not going to work, or what?
Well, I don't know if we're saying don't do it. I mean, I think that, but it was a very conscious effort to have her be younger than him. That was something that we talked about from the beginning, to have her be his second wife. There's a lot of things that are going on. One is that he is at a point in his life where he's kind of on the backside of his power, and I think that he's having doubts about his relevance. Also, doubts about whether or not she's being faithful to him. There's also a very specific generational gap in that she's somebody that's really on her device all the time, and he's someone
Mhm.
that doesn't really use a cell phone in that sort of way. Um, and also, very specifically, we wanted her to be an actor because it's one thing if you're an actor married to an actor. When throughout the course of our lives, my wife, would go off and play scenes when we were younger, or be involved with a crew or with a cast. You can't help but sort of be jealous that they're getting a piece of her, and that uh, um, she's having an intimate relationship with people, even if it's not a sexually intimate relationship. She's having to be emotional and connected
Yeah.
and spend a lot of hours. So all of this stuff has been eating away at my character by the time we make it to the house, and all those pieces of it were very specific.
So the movie was obviously affected by the pandemic because it didn't open in theaters, and now there's a lot of unrest, social unrest in this country. How do you see the future of your career and your role as an artist in the middle of all this turmoil?
uh
What do you think?
I mean, well, just specifically in terms of the movie, um, my feeling about it is that I really love going out to the movies. I love to sit in that experience. That's the experience that I grew up with, and the experience that I wanted to be part of as an actor. Sitting in a dark room with strangers, and having a shared, kind of experience. That's not happening right now. We had actually already planned on having this be video on demand even
Yeah.
before the pandemic happened. So
Okay.
it seemed to be a good opportunity for us to release it. And while I think that it's while I think it's a tough uh, uh, you know, while I really want movies to be seen in theaters again, what I would recommend with a movie like Stir of You Should Have Left is to, wait till it gets dark, and turn out the lights and turn off your phone, and put it on your big screen, and just take the ride, and see if you're able to sleep that night.
So this is probably the last one. Do you have any immediate like plans for the future, or you're still waiting to see what will happen
Still waiting.
with the opening and everything?
Yeah, still waiting. Just now starting to see, some suggestions for protocols that could be followed if people are going to be willing to go back to work. But I think that movie crews and actors, we love to do what we do, and I think we're pretty resilient, and I think we'll probably figure out some way to get back to work. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but we'll see.